Good evening, fairy tale guilders. This is Defiant 2 yet again with another video. The last video I kind of went over a basic short base design with a kill island, and then I explained all the towers, their levels, and which ones are stronger than others. This video is going to be over our wars and how not only how we declare them, but how you guys should be, the rules of war, and then how you guys should be selecting a person to attack for war. So first off, when your officers or leaders pick people for war, we go into this little trophy system here. And as you can see, it shows leagues, players, teams. We go into the teams because it'll tell us what league we're in and what teams are currently in that league with us. As you can see, we are now ranked number 1. We have a pretty good lead on the number 2 crew, French crew, I mean. But it can always be taken away. And the reason why we're number 1 right now is because we just won both wars that were declared on us. So basically what we do is we come in here, and what I look at, not only do I look at, that they're number 2 and we want to stay number 1, but I look at how many members. See, this French crew has 44 members. If you click on ours, we have 48. So we already have more members than they do. What that means for us is that we start off the war with more flames than they do. So we already start off in the lead. The next thing I do is I go in here and I look at the player levels. Okay? So as you can see here, they have anywhere from mid 200s to hundreds. And they have a lot of them. Their full first page was mostly hundreds to 200s. And then a good chunk of their second page, or 3 of their members on the second page, are level 100s. This is not actually a bad team if we wanted to declare on them, because then after that, their player levels go down. But it's risky going up against a team like this, who, when their first page looks like that, and we don't have nearly that many high-level players. So it's a gamble going up against this team, because most likely we're not going to get to hit all of these higher-level players. So that's another thing I look at. And those are the 2 things I take into consideration before picking somebody to war with. I want to set us up for success. I don't want to set us up for failure. I'm more than willing to try to test the waters. Like with this team, I would be willing to maybe test the waters, knowing that most likely we would probably lose. But what great morale booster is it if we declared thinking that we may lose and then we end up winning? It's freaking awesome. Especially like with the teams that ward us. So the number 12 team, 100s, Dragons, Red, and then the number 15 team, Sky Guardians. Those are the 2 teams that just declared on us. And in all intents and purposes, they should have won, because these guys had a full team. So they had flames on us from the beginning with the full team. Not to mention they had higher level players. Actually, no, their levels were actually fairly decent. We had higher level players than they did. But they had more members, so that they were winning right off the bat in that war when they started. Sky Guardians were the ones that I thought for sure we would lose. Again, they're a full team, 50 out of 50. And so they already start off winning, and they knew it, so they thought they were going to have an easy win. Then you come down here and you look at play level, and they have a level 421. Well, no one on our team can take out that level 421 guaranteed. We would be able to take out that 211, the 176, the 151, the 160, probably the 207, but that 451 was just nowhere in range. And then you have on the second page a couple hundreds, high-level hundreds. So I knew that one was going to be very, very difficult from the start. One, they had number of members on us, and then two, they had those high level players that we wouldn't have been able to even get a single flame on. So that's another flame advantage for them. So that's what we have to take into account going into wars, when not only we declare, but when we get declared on, is how far behind are we already from the start. So what you see here, these are all of our prior wars. We won with Sky Guardians by a long shot, which amazed me. Especially after I saw their bases and attacked myself. They had strong bases. So the reason why we won by so much was because their player participation was very, very low. We had better participation in war, and so that's why we won. And that's why I commend everybody who does participate in war, because just by participating and getting some flames, you just helped us win the war over a team who didn't get any participation or any flames, and they had the flame advantage on us. As you can see with the 100 Dragoness Reds, they were on par with as far as active members. We beat them by seven flames, essentially. That one was a close one, and it was closer than I expected it to be. Because, again, they didn't have any high-level players that we couldn't necessarily take out. So it just goes to show you they had the player number on us, but we just barely inched out by them with our player activity level. So first, let's go into the rules. All right, the rules are pretty simple, but sometimes can be confusing. So the team with the highest flame score at the end of the war wins. Each player's single best flame score adds to the team's total flame score. Players have only 7 lead attack attempts in each war, so choose your target carefully. In the case of a tie, the winner will be chosen based on the least total attack attempts made. Rotating war buffs are applied to all players' bases in wars equally, and multiple players cannot contribute to the team flames by attacking the same base. So basically, obviously, the more flames you have, you win. If it's a tie, whatever team attempted more attacks. So say you completed an attack on a base, you weren't able to get full flames, so you attacked again to try to get full flames, and then failed and tried again. You can do that 7 times and that's it. But every time you do that again, it hurts us when it comes down to a tie. So that's why I always say pick a target you know you can take and get full flames, because every time you take a new attack to try to get the full flames, if we tie, that's going to hurt us at the end of war. So that's why I say pick a base you know you can take out with 1 dragon by yourself, because most likely you're going to be flying by yourself, because not all of your officers or leader can be on at the same time. Next, you'll see down here the little orange, yellow, and red flames. These are how these flames are earned. The orange flames are your generic flames that you earn in any normal attack. And basically, the first 3 flames are awarded based on the total destruction done by all the dragons combined. So your first flame is earned if you get 70% destruction. Your second flame will be earned if you can beat that and get 85% destruction. And then the third flame, you get all 3 flames if you're able to beat 99% destruction. And that's with a combined total of dragons. Now the yellow one comes into play with the amount of dragons that you use. So basically, the 4th and 5th flames are awarded based on how many dragons were used in a 99% or greater result. So basically, the 4th flame will be awarded, so you'll get 4 flames if you use less than 2 dragons. Or if you, that's a less than equal to 2 dragons. You'll get the 4th flame. you'll get all 5 flames awarded if you defeat the whole base with 1 dragon. Okay, so that's how all attacks work outside of war. You get all 3 flames if you're able to get 99% of destruction on the base, and you'll get the additional yellow, 4th and 5th yellow flame if you're able to kill that base with only 1 dragon. You won't get the 5th flame if you have to use 2 dragons, and if you have to use 3 dragons, you won't get the 4th flame. You'll only get 3 orange flames, if that makes sense. Now, the red flame is new. This was introduced with war, and this is why you don't see it in your normal everyday attacks, because this flame is only earned during war. And it's the 6th and 7th flame, and it's awarded based on the destruction percentage done by the first dragon used. So what that means is when you do your war run, say you use your strongest dragon and you get through 35%, you're only going to get 6 flames. Because then you'll have to use a follow-up dragon to finish the base. If you have a backer, then you'll get 6 flames. If you don't have a backer, then you lose out on these flames because now you're having to use a second dragon. So you'll only get your 4th flame in the yellow. And then the 7th flame is awarded if you leading the attack gets 70% destruction with your first dragon. So that's why the red flame is important, and that's why we say pick a base you can take with 1 dragon. And that's why I send out those emails and say it's very, very important that you pick a base you can take with your strongest dragon. One thing I want to note here is I notice a lot of people like to use Ember. Ember is a very strong dragon. I have Ember in my lineup, but the only reason why I have Ember in my lineup is because there's a base I can defeat with Ember. As you can see, I can't evolve Ember any further. He is at level 6, and there's no way getting around it without purchasing the evolution stones, which I'm not willing to do. Ember's great. His attack power is at 3,000. For a red dragon, that's pretty good. Or blue, or whatever level he's at right now, I don't know. But he's not the strongest dragon. As you can see, his strongest spell is that Death Gaze spell. It's a red spell. Most people's bases are going to have red spells on it, or red mages on it. And so that's going to cancel out Ember's main attack, and he's going to go down like a flame, because he's a low-level dragon. He's not a seasonal dragon. So if you can't use that that red spell, he's going to die almost instantly. So if you're using Ember during war attacks, I highly recommend you not do that. Rely on stronger dragons and take their attack power into consideration, because as you can see, Ember's attack power for me is only 3,894, and I can only imagine that's what his level is at for you guys. And if you go with any of these dragons down here, as you can see, my level 1 Cryos, which is green or gold egg, it's a 63k.
I didn't get that.
It's a 63k attack power. So he's way stronger than Ember. So realize Ember is only 3,000k. If you have a dragon in your lineup, say you even have your low-level dragons here. Kanara's already got him beat with an attack power of 12.8k. So Kanara's already stronger than Ember in the red tier dragon tier. So I would highly steer clear of Ember in wars. So after you understand how the flames are earned, now you got to go in and pick a target. I'm going to pick Sky Guardians because they had really, really good bases. Almost all 3 of my accounts had to tack way lower than what they normally would do. So basically, when you go in to pick someone, normally I would pick someone around my level. So if I do that, now this is probably not going to let me go into attack because we're not warring with them. So I'm probably going to have to go around This level is a level 82, so if I go in here and find this person in their roster, and I hit the attack button, he's roughly around the same. He's a little bit lower level, but he's roughly around the same. The things I have to take into consideration: he's got a short base. We just went over short bases and how important they are. His towers, no tower is under level 20. So this short base, you can already tell he's able to level up his towers really high because he only has so many towers to build up. The next thing I look at is his defense power, his or hers defense power. It's at 616K, okay? So that tells me at a level 73, he's got a pretty strong base. It also looks like it's boosted because you can see the blue line around it. You can see the little dragon perch here is standing out. That means he's fed the dragon on that perch. You can see this little flame thing here. This base is boosted, so it's not his normal defense power, but that's what his defense power is right now. So next, then I go down and look at my dragon's attack power. It's at 247K. That's a 400K difference, just under a 400K difference. I'm probably not going to be able to take out this base with my strongest dragon. So if I can't take this base out with my strongest dragon, why should I attack this base? So what I do is, when I realize this guy's level is too high for me, I start picking other targets. So I scroll down, and I keep going lower to the lowest one available. I got to this one, Mr. Wolf Savage. So I took everything into account. I looked at his base. He had a long base. Look at all those towers. Not a single one over 18. His highest is 19. They're all fairly low level. His defense power is only 154K. So my strongest dragon's attack power is already clearly stronger than his defense power. So I'm thinking I have this base. I can beat this base, no problem. It's long, his towers aren't very high level, and my dragon's attack power is better than his defense power. I went into this attack, and Sarah Sharp Eyes backed me, and it was probably a good thing she did, because when I got to this new tower that he has here, this howitzer tower, he almost knocked my strongest dragon out with one shot. Luckily, he did not kill my dragon, and I was able to defeat the base. But had I known what that tower was capable of, I probably wouldn't have attacked this base either. So you guys need to take all these things into consideration when you're picking a target for war. Not just their level, that they're the same level as you, but you have to look at their defense power and your dragon's attack power, but you also have to look at their tower levels. Is it a long base that has low-level towers, or is it a short base that has a lot of high-level towers? If they're high-level towers, you might not be able to take it. So you might want to err on the side of caution and pick a player that has a little bit lower and a better base. So that's basically what I wanted to go over for war. We've been doing great with wars. Yes, I wish we could get full flames all the time, but this is trial and error. We're all learning. I've been playing this game for a long time, so I know all these little nuances, and I'm hoping that these videos help so that way you guys can learn all these nuances too, because when we all understand how this game works, then it makes our team so much stronger. So again, like I said in the last video, if there's something you need further explanation on, I can follow up with another video, or email me in game, or find me online, and I will respond and answer to the best of my ability. These videos are easier because then I can show you guys what I'm trying to say versus trying to type it out, because that's sometimes makes it harder. So with that, I'm going to sign out, and I hope you guys have a good evening.